If I put two foods in front of most people, they usually decide based on marketing. One says organic, one says high protein, one says low fat, one says natural. But the human body does not care about marketing. It responds to what food actually does inside the body. So today, we are doing something simple, this or that. And by the end of this video, you are going to look at some everyday foods very differently. Because sometimes the healthier looking food is not actually the smarter choice. And sometimes the food people fear is completely misunderstood. Let's start with one that surprises almost everybody. Orange juice or actual oranges? Most people think these are the same. They are not. Drinking orange juice is easy. You can consume 4 or 5 oranges worth of sugar in under 2 minutes. But eating 4 oranges, almost nobody does that. Why? Because whole fruit comes with fiber, and fiber changes everything. It slows sugar absorption, improves fullness, and reduces the blood sugar spike. This is why whole fruit consistently behaves differently in the body than fruit juice. Now, does that mean fruit juice is poison? No. If somebody is undereating, doing endurance sports, or needs fast carbohydrates, juice has a role. But for appetite control, blood sugar management, and fat loss, whole fruit wins almost every time. This or that, whole fruit. Fresh hot white rice or rice that was cooked yesterday and refrigerated overnight. This one sounds ridiculous, but the science here is fascinating. When rice cools, part of its starch structure changes into something called resistant starch. That means your body digests less of it as rapid glucose. Instead, some of that starch reaches the gut bacteria intact, and gut bacteria love resistant starch. This is why cooled rice often produces a smaller blood sugar response than freshly cooked rice. Fresh rice is not bad, especially for athletes or people needing quick energy, but for metabolic health, appetite control, and blood sugar stability, cooled rice is surprisingly smarter. Same rice, different chemistry. Butter or extra virgin olive oil. Now this conversation makes people emotional because butter feels natural, comforting, traditional, and olive oil feels like something a doctor tells you to eat. But when researchers repeatedly study long-term cardiovascular health, olive oil consistently dominates the conversation. Why? Because extra virgin olive oil contains polyphenols, bioactive compounds linked to lower inflammation and improved cardiovascular markers. It is not just fat, it is chemically active. Butter, not evil, but it is much higher in saturated fat and contains none of those polyphenols. Now, if you occasionally cook with butter, your body is not going to collapse. But if we are asking which fat consistently performs better in human health research, olive oil wins, especially for people over 40. Potato chips or air pop popcorn. This one is brutal because both feel like snack foods, but one destroys fullness and the other actually helps it. Potato chips are one of the easiest foods in existence to overeat. Why? Salt, fat, crunch, calorie density, hyperpalatability. Your brain basically loses the stopping signal. Now compare that to popcorn. Air pop popcorn is high volume food. A huge bowl can contain fewer calories than a tiny bag of chips. It also contains fiber, meaning your stomach physically feels fuller. Now obviously, movie theater popcorn drowning in butter is a different conversation. But plain popcorn? Underrated. This or that. For satiety, popcorn wins easily. Flavored yogurt or plain Greek yogurt. This might be the most misleading health food battle in supermarkets. Yogurt markets itself aggressively as healthy, but many contain huge amounts of added sugar. Now compare that to Greek yogurt. More filling, better for appetite control. Protein changes the entire experience of a meal. This is why high-protein breakfasts consistently reduce cravings later in the day. Now, if somebody hates plain Greek yogurt, fine. Add berries, add cinnamon, add honey yourself. The important thing is, you control the sweetness, not the manufacturer. Let's compare. On the left, hidden sugars. On the right, natural control. The choice is yours. White bread or sourdough. At first glance, these seem similar, but fermentation changes food. Traditional sourdough fermentation partially breaks down carbohydrates and may reduce the glycemic response compared to standard white bread. It is also often more satisfying. Now, this does not magically turn bread into kale, but food quality exists on a spectrum, and sourdough generally performs better metabolically than ultra-processed white bread, especially when paired with protein and healthy fats. Add berries, add cinnamon, add honey yourself. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate. This one makes people nervous because they assume all chocolate is junk food. But dark chocolate above 70% cocoa is actually one of the highest polyphenol foods in existence. Polyphenols are linked to cardiovascular and metabolic benefits. Milk chocolate, usually much higher sugar. Lower cocoa, less nutritional density. Now, portion size still matters. Eating 17 bars because it is healthy dark chocolate is still insane. But gram for gram, dark chocolate is a completely different nutritional category. So what is the point of this video? Not perfection. Because nutrition gets dramatically easier when you stop thinking, is this food good or bad? And start asking, compared to what? that changes everything. Because often the smartest nutritional choice is not eliminating food completely. It is simply choosing the better version more consistently. This is the Food Tutor. Comment one food battle you want me to compare next. Rice versus pasta, honey versus sugar, air fryer versus deep fryer. And I might build part 2 from your suggestions. I will see you soon.